Today we will talk about RH factor. RH factor. You all know that along with the ABO system, we have to consider the RH factor also. So, what is this RH factor? RH means Rhesus. There is a monkey by name Rhesus macaque. This is an old world monkey. As you know, why I am saying the old world monkey, because there was a taxonomic bifurcation of the monkey species around 55 million years ago in the world. So, old monkey species are belonging to old world monkeys, and after that it is new world monkeys. So these are the two main species classification. Don't worry about that classification at all. Just remember Rhesus macaque monkey. Actually, this belongs to the species Macaca mulata. That is the species name. From that, to which this Rhesus macaque belongs. This monkey is seen in North India, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, China, and in some of the African countries. It's a very beautiful red-faced monkey with cropped hairs, around 7 kilogram in weight. So, a small monkey. Actually, Landsteiner and Weiner, both these professors spend a lot of time in checking the blood of this particular Rhesus monkey, and they discovered that there is a very important antigen which is sticking to the red blood cell of this particular monkey, and they injected this monkey's blood to some guinea pig, and then they took the serum from the guinea pig and put it back to the monkey, and then the monkey's blood cells got agglutination, and the story goes like that. So finally they found that Rhesus factor is a very important factor. This is actually coming from chromosome number 1. Chromosome number 1. And Landsteiner and Weiner, they noticed that there are many RH factors, and all the RH factors are protein in nature. I think you will remember that when I discussed about ABO blood system, I told you that ABO blood system, they are carbohydrates, whereas RH is protein. This is the major difference between ABO and RH antigen. Suppose this is the RBC. This RBC, on the surface of the RBC, I explained earlier, there are many antigens. There is A antigen, B antigen, H antigen, then comes Duffy, Digo, M, N, S, Kel. It is actually, this Kel came from a pregnant woman by name Kellacher. In her red blood cell, there is a special antigen. So they named it Kel antigen. Similarly, Lewis actually, it came from outside and is sticking on the surface of red blood cell. This is adsorbed. Adsorbed, not absorbed, adsorbed. That means the molecule will come stick on the surface only. It will not go inside. This is the term, adsorbed. Then comes another one. Its name is KID. Then there is RHD, RHC, RH small c, RHE, then RH small e, then comes P group. In P group system, there are P1, P2, P1K, P2K, it goes like that. Finally, there is P null also, like RH null, there is also P null. We will not go to that much details. For the time being, today we will see the RH. In RH, there is RHD, RHC, small c, capital E, small e. It goes like that. In RH itself, there are around 49, 50 different varieties. Out of that, today we will concentrate on RHD. Actually, as I told you, this is a protein, and it is actually, suppose this is the RBC. This RHD is laying on this surface like a snake, like this. "12 times this is crossing this RBC membrane. So this is called 12 pass protein. So RH is a 12 pass protein. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means 6 loop outside and 6 loop inside. So totally 12 times this will cross the membrane. That is the structure of this RHD protein. And this is coming from chromosome number 1. In chromosome number 1, it has 2 jobs. One is RHD, one is RHD and the other is RHC, small c, E, small e. RHD, okay, RHD, RHC and E. There is no small d, only small c and small e are there. It is produced from chromosome number 1. There is no small d. Small d means there is no capital D. Sometimes if you write a D like this, that means there is no capital D. This is the meaning. So there is no small d. Like C, there is small c. E, there is also small e. So this chromosome number 1 is coding for RHD and RHCND and small c and small e also. So this is the structure. It is 12-pass protein seen in the RBC surface. This is RHD. RHD is protein. Unlike ABO, RHD is protein. ABO system is carbohydrate. So just remember the basic difference between ABO and RHD. ABO is carbohydrates, that is sugar. Its components are sugars. Here RHD is protein made up of various amino acids. We will go into this biochemistry and all later. Just for the time being, just keep it in mind. ABO are sugars or carbohydrates. RH are proteins. So now we will see the so now we are concentrating only on ABO with RH. Again I am coming back to the RBC and so when we talk about RH, we only consider RHD. The other RH factors like CE, they are all not this much important. This is RHD which is most important of all the RH factors. So when we say A positive, what does it mean? This means A plus D antigen. That is why it is shown A positive. If there is no RH, we will say negative. It means only A, no D. Now this RHD, it has a property that suppose there is no D in your RBC, and if another group blood with RHD comes to this person, then what will happen? I will explain it now. This person, suppose he is a negative person. That means his blood group is A with no D. So what will happen if another blood with D is coming to this blood? Then what will happen? This blood will be sensitized and this will make an anti-D. So an anti-D will be formed in his blood. That is very dangerous, I can say. That is why we are very particular of this transfusion from a Rh positive to Rh negative blood. This will form anti-D. So especially when we talk about mother and child, that I will explain later only. When we talk about mother and child, this is very important. If the mother is having a Rh negative blood and her child is having a Rh positive blood group, then at the time of parcerition, delivery, there is chance for the child's blood to go to mother's blood, and in the mother's blood anti-D will be formed because it is sensitized. And in the second child, there is chance for this anti-D to go back to the second child, not the first child. Second child will have problems. This I will explain, I think, in a next video in detail. So we have to be very careful in handling the blood with Rh negative. Actually, around 95% of the whole population is Rh positive. Rh positive. Only 5% is Rh negative. And now I will tell you regarding the D antigen. This D antigen it has got normally 4 epitopes. Suppose this is the D antigen. 1, 2, 3, 4 epitopes. On this epitopes, the antibody will come and bind. These are antigen binding sites, we can say. In D antigen, normally there are 4. Now we will study few terms regarding this D. Number 1 is weak D. Weak D means this D antigen will be lesser in numbers all around here. Lesser numbers of D. And that blood is called weak D blood. Another term is partial D. Partial D is actually lesser number of epitopes where this antibody can come and bind. Normally there are 4. If in some of the D antigens it's only maybe 3 or maybe 2, then that D is called partial D. That means the quality of the D antigen is not 100% okay. This is like having a stool with 4 legs. Suppose one leg is missing or 2 legs is missing, then this will not be stable. Like that, partial D means this antigen binding epitopes, it is called epitope, and antibody binding determinants are called epitope in an antigen. So in a partial D, number of epitopes will be less. But in weak D, the number of D antigen itself is less. So weak D means the quantity or the number is less. That is a quantity deficiency. Partial D means a qualitative deficiency because it has got only 3 legs or 2 legs like that. So this is qualitative deficiency, whereas weak D is a quantitative deficiency. the number of D antigens are very low. Only less number is available. That will be weak D. Partial D is in some of the D antigens, their epitopes are less in number, maybe 3 or maybe 2, like that. Now another term, RH null. What do you mean by RH null? RH null means there is no RH at all, including D, C, E, small c, small e. Nothing, no RH at all. So, no D, no C, no small c, and no E, no small e. None of the RHs is available. Nothing at all. This is RH free surface. No RH at all. That is RH null. This is first time noticed in Australia. And in the whole world, I think only less than 100 people with RH null. In the surface of their RBC, there is no D, no C, no E, no small c, no small e. That's a wonderful type blood, RH null category. So, this is about the RHD as an introduction. In the next episode, we will explain the clinical importance of this RHD. So, wait for my next video. I hope you understood this weak D, partial D, RH null. In the next class, we will explain the mother and child problem and how it is affected for the child. So that is what is called actually hemolytic disease of the neo child. That means otherwise it is called erythroblastosis fetalis. These two terms are used. These two terms I will explain in the next class. It is very important. Child and mother story. When the mother is RH negative, what will happen and how to solve it. Nowadays, we can easily solve it by using a medicine Rogam. This is all I will explain later only. So, today. That's all. See you in the next video. Thank you.